I'm Hayley Victoria and welcome back to my Crime and Policing channel. In today's session, I am continuing this discussion about how to join the police as a police officer. I will also be discussing how to join the police in different roles. There's a bit of a misconception here that to join the police, you have to be a response officer. No, you don't. There are so many different roles in the policing world, not just that. And everybody is as important as each other. But I'll come to that in the next video. For this one, however, we are looking at the new ways of entering the police as a police officer. I have done a video on the IPLDIP programme. The IPLDIP is kind of out of date now, and the fact that some forces now and then run them is purely because they need the numbers. You know, society is growing, and you know, this time 30 years ago, we employed a lot of police officers. They've retired now, so we need to restock the sources and the forces. So some very, very rare occurrences, a force will open an IPLDIP programme, as have Derbyshire quite recently. A couple of my students should be starting any time now. I'm so excited for you. I'm not going to name you because I don't want to, out you on social media as being a cop. But if you're watching this, please let me know how you get on. I'm so proud of you. Okay, so anyway, different ways into the police service. It all changed in 2020. The PEQF, which is your Policing Education Qualification Framework, and the National Policing Curriculum made it so all officers after 2020 would have a degree at the end of their training. And that's very, very, very contentious at the moment. There are 16 chief constables, I've read this on LinkedIn, who are saying, we don't really think you need a degree to be a police officer. However, the other out of the 43 forces in the UK are saying, yeah, you do. You actually do. And this is because crimes are evolving. As time moves on, however society moves on, people are getting cleverer. And it's a common misconception that all criminals are thick. Some of them, granted, absolute dingbats, but quite a lot of them are very, very clever. And the crimes we're looking at now are so complex and contemporary, the things that people are doing. If they applied that to doing something good, they could change the world, right? But instead, they're applying that to taking people's money and exposing people online and other such things. As such, as a police service, we need to respond to that as the crimes are evolving. That doesn't always just mean you need a degree. It means you need to adopt a different way of thinking. And these ways of thinking, analysing and evaluating stuff, they're all skills that you gain while doing this academic research. There is something I'm going to cover in a different video called evidence-based policing, and it's fantastic. A lot of people are like, it's boring. It's not. It's not boring. We've been doing evidence-based practice for years. Other professions use it. Doctors, nurses, dentists, other teachers, other professionals use evidence-based policing, or evidence-based practice, sorry. And that's what we must do as well in order to respond to things properly. How on earth are we going to match resources to demand if we've not done all the research behind it and figured out how and why we need to do stuff? It's weird. It's like trying to travel across the country to somewhere you've never been before without a sat-nav or a map. It's just bonkers. You need evidence-based policing. Anyway, that's a different video. I'll get to that next time. Anyway, back onto your new ways into becoming a police officer. There are different routes. There is a PCDA, which is an apprenticeship, which, by the way, is really good. There is the DHEP, which is your degree holders entry program. And there is your PPD, which is your professional policing degree. They're the three I'm going to cover today. And I will talk about other stuff as well, such as direct entry later on. But what we're going to look at now is these three. And I'm going to start with the PCDA. That's what I'm teaching on at the moment. And the PCDA is bob on. This, I believe, is a good way to get into the police. And I think the knowledge you gain while you're on there and working alongside it, you're on the job while you're learning, I think it's fantastic because you get to have all the experience and you're kind of cocooned and you're in this safety net of a learning as well. So it is an apprenticeship. So a little bit like other professions, you can have an apprenticeship in lots and lots of different things. You start this course, you need to have a level 3 qualification. And so if you've done your A-levels, BTECs, NCFEs, lots of different level 3s. There's so many you can do, right? You can even go online and do a level 3 in pretty much anything. So if you have a look at, what have I got now? I can't remember what it's called. Skills for Justice is pretty good. There's Open University, lots of these online learning platforms. You can do a level 3 in criminology, forensic science. I've got my 3, 4s and 5s in those. And honestly, not that hard. Just apply yourself. Anyway, so what I want you to think about now is how you envision yourself joining, what you want to know before you get there. So your apprenticeship lasts for 3 years. And you go from level 4, 5 and 6. So it's a bit like when you're doing like a BA or any other type of degree thing. You start at, well, it's a bit, you have a foundation degree bit, 4, then you have your 5 and your 6. This is how it works. You've got your 3 years on there, and at the end of it, you're fully competent because you're doing all the different training alongside it. You also have to make a portfolio. And when you have finished your last year, your level 6, you go to something called a gateway. It's not like an actual gateway. You don't end up in some woods in front of an iron gate and talk to the policing fairies and walk through. It's something called the gateway, which means that your work is ready to be signed off. Then you'll go to an endpoint assessment. And that can be in a couple of different ways. I'll talk through some in a moment. You'll have an interview. You'll have to respond to these questions about your knowledge and make sure you're not a bit of a duck egg, basically. It's, if you've done everything you need to do, you've done all your assessments, you've done all your work, your coursework, and you've passed everything, you've shown your knowledge, skills and behaviours are up there, because they call it KSBs, which will get spoken about a lot, then you'll be fine. You'll be absolutely fine. And they wouldn't put you forward for it if you weren't ready. So they're not just going to be like, oh yeah, you've done your 3 years, off your pop. You'll need to make sure you're ready. And if you're not, they can hold you back. So make sure you do your work. Simple. Okay, anyway, so your PCDA, it's like I said, it's a 3-year programme generally. In some circumstances, some institutions let you do it over a longer period of time, part-time. So it depends where you're applying, I guess. When you finish, you'll have a level 6 honours degree. Well done. So like a BSc honours in professional policing practice. There you go. And it kind of aligns with the old police training in this kind of way. So your first year, you will have your independent patrol status. That's exciting, isn't it, right? So your first year, you get your IPS, your independent patrol status. Your second year, which is level 5, you'll get your PIP level 1. That's your basic investigators stuff. So you can, your basic investigating crimes, which is pretty cool. Your third year, your third and final year, you'll have your full operational competence. And you can even gain other stuff, such as your PIP level 2, if you picked your specialism as conducting investigations. PIP level 2 is great, by the way. If you can get that, get it. Do it. Because then you can go on to be a detective and stuff like that. It totally depends where you want to be in the police and how you see yourself moving forward. If you're just starting out now in your PCDA, have a think about where it is you want to go, what it is in the future you'd like to do. We have a lot of people on PCDAs who just want to do a few years on response as a fully competent officer before they start looking at the specialists and stuff like that. Then there's some who are already like, I know where I'm going into firearms, I'm doing this and this, I want this training. They've already got it mapped out. So your future is totally up to you. You are the master of your own destinies, so make sure you put some time and effort into them. The PCDA course is a mixture of your operational police learning and your academic. You'll have some time at your police training centre, some time at the university, whichever university that is running your course, and you'll have to work both together. You'll also have your practice-based learning as well, so you will be out there. Intermittently, you'll be out on district with your tutors doing stuff in other areas as well. In your last year, you get to pick one of 5 specialisms in which you'd like to go and explore. That's response policing, road policing, community policing, conducting investigations, and information and intelligence. So like I said, there are a lot of specialisms, and choose one that you're really passionate about and try it out. You're in that safe space to give it a whirl. So there you go, I would try that. This is your PCDA. So you will learn through workplace stuff, through training, and as common with all apprenticeships, you'll get something called off-the-job training. You get 20% off the job training with the PCDA as well. And what that is where you'll do your training off the job, so at a uni or a police training centre. You'll also be required to do other stuff such as NCALTs. So NCALT is it's a SCORM package which the police use to train you, like an internet learning thing. Pretty simple. Just don't click through to the end because there are like knowledge checks throughout them. It's a little tip for you and you might get caught out. And also, here's a stickler. We can see how long you've been on your NCALTs for. Haha. So you can't get out of that one. If you've just been skipping through, they will know. Because it says 10 seconds or whatever. You're like, right, really? What have you learned about domestic violence in 10 seconds? They will catch you out. And remember, honesty and integrity, guys. That should be at the heart of everything you do. So from the start of your PCDA, you will be attested, which means you stand in front of a magistrate and some senior constables and you, senior officers, sorry, and you will promise that you are good and you won't break the law and you'll do justice for the king and all this kind of stuff. I've got a whole podcast on the attestation. Have a listen. You'll attest. You'll be a probationary officer, which is your student officer. Very exciting. You get your uniform and all that kind of stuff. So that's from the offset, from the out. That's it. As soon as the gates are open, boom, this is what you start off doing. You will be salaried as well, so you get paid. It's lower than your starting salary normally of a police constable. You'd be on about 18, 19 grand. And then once you've completed your studies, it will rise, obviously. When you get independent patrol status at the end of year one, it will go up and such as you continue throughout your studies. According to Blackstone's policing, apprentices don't pay for the tuition fees. Pretty nice, right? So yeah, that's a little bit of a Brucey bonus for you there. But you want to check with your HE establishments that that's the case. So I mentioned KSBs, that's your knowledge, skills and behaviours, and that will be blended throughout your training, whether you're at a training centre or whether you're at the university. You'll build a portfolio throughout your studies and that will all help you at Gateway at the end of your studies. Once you've achieved your full competence, you will be, that's it, off you trot. You will be a proper full-time police officer, or in professionally be confirmed as a police officer, police constable. So well done you. But it is a journey. It's 3 years, like I mentioned, and you will be in and out of training centres and universities. What I will always say to people is keep on top of your studies because you don't want to get behind, because you'll just get stressed out and nobody wants that, and they don't want to add any stresses onto you either. It's a lovely environment. You will be supported. Ask for help if you need it. You know, your university level now, people aren't going to be like, are you okay? You've got to get in there and go, you know what, I'm not okay and I need some help, and you will get help. Help is always available to those who ask for it. I think Dumbledore said that. The knowledge requirement for the PCDA comes from the National Policing Curriculum. And when you're ready to be confirmed, you'll have to know all these different areas. I'm going to read these straight from the Blackstone's Policing Manual for you now. So the ethics and values of professional policing, you should know that, especially by end of year 3. Key cross-cutting and interdependent areas of policing, so roles and responsibilities, criminal justice, counter-terrorism, all that stuff. You will cover that in, yeah, definitely cover that in great detail. Aspects of College of Policing, authorised professional practice. You really should know that if you're at level 3, well, year 3, sorry. How to interpret and apply the letter and essence of all relevant law. You should know this by the end of year 3. Social behaviour in society, the causes, mitigation and prevention of crime, in-depth knowledge and understanding and expertise, different approaches to systematic evidence-based preventative policing, lots and lots and lots and lots of stuff. So we looked at the knowledge, the things you need to know. There are also skills, so knowledge, skills and behaviours. And the skills, which I'm going to read again from Blackstone's Handbook for Policing, are apply authorised professional practice and any local policy applicable to the operational policing context. You'll be fine. Communicate effectively in accordance with the varied needs of different situations, individuals, groups and communities. Use your own communication skills to manage planned and uncertain situations and to persuade or lead others as needed. If somebody gives you an opportunity to present in university, take it. Work on those presentation skills, those communication skills, because it'll really, really help you when you've got to do that out in your job and also at endpoint assessment. Gather, handle and accurately analyse information and intelligence from a variety of sources to support law enforcement and to maximise policing effectiveness. You'll be all over this. You'll be looking at the SARA model, the NDM, all over it, I'm telling you. Manage dynamic conflict situations in policing through leadership and by dealing with a wide range of behaviours and incidents. You'll be doing this, easy peasy. And take accountability for the use of proportionate and justifiable responses and actions. Manage effective and ethical searches for evidence. Yep. Provide an initial, autonomous and ongoing response to incidents, which can be complex, confrontational and life-threatening, to bring about the best possible outcomes. This is not easy, by the way, but you will be able to do all this, especially after the end of 3 years. Provide leadership to protect the public and empathetic and appropriate support to victims, witnesses and vulnerable people. Treat people properly, please. Manage and conduct effective and efficient priority and high volume investigations. Use initiative to diligently progress investigations. So you've got to use your brain. Interview victims and witnesses and suspects. Yep. Assess threat and risk. Use police legal powers to deal with suspects, victims and witnesses. And proactively introduce new ways of working and innovation. Woo! So that's all stuff you'll be able to do. And I'm confident that you'll be able to do it. You just need to make sure that you really do apply yourself to your studies in university and when you're out at district and or in your operational police learning environment, which will be your training centre at the police. So your behaviours then, this is something that's not really difficult because, you should be able to do this anyway. It links really well into your professional standards of behaviour and your code of ethics. So taking accountability, professional integrity, emotionally astute, curious and innovative, collaborative, supportive and inspirational leading. Boom. That's all you have to do for your PCDA. So just a quick recap of the main points there. It's 3 years, level 4, 5 and 6. You'll be helped all the way throughout. But as you develop your skills, that kind of giving you stuff will be a lot less as you get to level 6. You've got to be more independent. You've got to be proactive and responsive to everything around you. That to help you develop all of these skills. It's really important because you'll be developing the academic stuff as well. How to critically analyse, how to evaluate stuff, how to look at problems and solve them. All these kind of things you're going to really need to know. I hope this has answered some questions about the PCDA. If not, send me some messages or drop me a comment and I'll hopefully answer your questions for you then. In the meantime, stay safe, look after each other and please don't commit any crimes.